So as you can see, I have just fed baby peppies their morning breakfast of brine shrimp. A lot of people don't realise that bristlenose will eat live brine shrimp. They absolutely love it. I find it's one of the best things to get them to grow quick. As you can see, these guys are about 3 weeks after popping. It's very hard to see. All my tanks are natural lighting, so I don't have any LEDs. It's all about cost saving. If you want to have 10 tanks, 20 tanks, 50 tanks, 100 tanks, that's spectacular, but you have to pay for them. I've built up 20 tanks over the last year. I run heaters in most of them, some I don't. See if I can zoom in on some. Brine shrimp have already clouded up the tank. Not overly excited by the new Samsung phones, I tell you. But as you can see, brine shrimp, everywhere brine shrimp. What will happen is they'll stick to the glass, they'll stick to the wood, and that's when these boys come in, and girls I should say, and they just have a feast. Absolute feast on them. Brine shrimp are just basically protein, so it's in, it's out, they grow, repeat. I'll give these guys brine shrimp twice a day. Plus wafers. I like to give them a lot of protein. A lot of people say, oh, don't give catfish too much protein. I give them protein every day, which is usually, I don't know if I can plug this or get in trouble for this, but tetracal. Everyone says it's cheap food. Well, trust me, in Australia it's not cheap, but they love it. Obviously, I do put in fresh zucchini, cucumber, out of my own garden, so I know it's all natural. But I find the peppermint's not overly excited by it half the time. They just love their granules, they love their brine shrimp, they love their algae wafers. Anyway, so I don't waste the rest of the brine shrimp. Brine shrimp will start to die after 5-10 minutes without oxygen. So you want to make sure you don't leave them laying around. The rest will go in here. This is just some more angelfish. Last batch. Couple in there. These are a great thing. If you want to breed and be able to buy tanks, buy your own food, not have to spend your own money. It's a lovely background picture there. That's just in between the tanks so the fish don't see the other fish in the next tank. But you want to breed someone that's going to sell quick. You can sell a lot of, you can breed a lot of, and the pet shops are going to take it. This will help you pay for food, new tanks, expand, all that type of stuff. You got to take it into account too. With, I'm running, I don't know, 6,000, 9,000 watts of heaters, so take into account electricity, all that stuff. But after a year, I've gotten to a point where I'm breeding enough where I don't pay for anything now. I haven't paid for the last probably 15 tanks, and everything's just straight profit now. But anyway, I'm going to throw these brine shrimp in. They don't starve. I do have another batch of eggs up in there too. They're kois. I'm looking really, well, just extremely looking forward to them. Them guys are just, kois just turn out beautiful. But straight away, as you can see, or as you can't see, because of the clouded brine shrimp, I pull these eggs straight away pretty well much. The kois I let pop. I wait till the parents move them, then I suck them straight up. and then these things just get brine shrimp for the next 3 weeks. But as I said, I'm really looking forward to these koi. There's a good spawn. There's 400-500 eggs. They've come from this one. You can see Cranky up the back there. Not overly excited. I picked them up the other day. Just about a week ago. They spawned straight away, so that was super awesome. A longfin in there. See if we can get them spawning. A couple of tanks of peppermints. Peppermints are good. Peppermints are good for making money. They can be difficult to breed. A lot of people say they can't. A lot of people. It all depends on you and your setup. I find the males don't like to be in another tank with a male because they'd rather spend their time fighting rather than getting themselves a lovely female. So I split them up into trios. I have 3 tanks of trios of peppermints, and I sell them at $10 a pop. So that's a quick investment. But you got to grow them here. As per usual, angelfish heaven. Not really. Running stock, a little bit low at the moment. But these are great for just, as I said, these are just spectacular for paying for your equipment, paying for your fish food. Buy your fish food in bulk. Buy 3 kilos at a time of flakes if you have to. May cost you $100, $150, but trust me, even with 20 tanks, I'm burning through a kilo every couple of weeks. So, excuse me. Angelfish are always fun. It used to be guppies. Guppies are just terrible these days. They are in my area anyway. As you can see, I've just noticed in this filthy tank, see if I can zoom in, they've spawned. They must have spawned last night. And this is a dilemma too. Alright, they've spawned, that's great, no worries. I've got another couple of 100 angelfish coming. But look at the tank. The tank was due for its 10-day strip down. It's absolutely filthy. But that's how these things spawn. They just, some want a filthy tank, some want a tank nice and clean. These guys are me silvers. They are absolutely terrible at being parents. They tend to eat the eggs. I'm going to leave this batch of eggs in there. 1, I've got a heat already hatched. But 2, I just want to see what they do. I want to see if they can get it. Because I usually strip the cane, take the cane. After 12 hours of this, I'll grab the cane, I'll bring the cane down into one of these, put it in there, wait till the eggs pop. The eggs pop, they fall off, I go through, I pull out all the bad eggs. You might see some bad eggs in there. You see all the white ones? Usually I go in, I'll go in and I'll pull all them out. If it's a small batch, I'll go in and just pull the wigglers out, but this is quite a large batch. It's hard to see, it doesn't look like it, but just in that little pile there, there's probably 300 or 400 wigglers already popped. They'll go on brine shrimp this afternoon, tell you the truth. Even though they're just sitting there shaking around, some of them, there are some swimming around, so you've got to get brine shrimp straight into them, or you'll lose the whole batch. But as I said, I usually pull the eggs, pull the whole cane out, put the cane into that, and do it the long way. But these two are the gold standard so far. They spawn, you can see the batch up on the glass. They're all empty casings. She spawns up on there, and she moves them over into the dirty corner on top of the sponge filter when they're wigglers. I suck them up. Simple as that. Put them into a tub. They start eating brine shrimp within a day. that is how I'd rather do it. These guys don't like that. Nah, we just want to eat the eggs. Look, he's not happy. If you want to pull the cane out, make sure I don't know what the parents are going to be like with yours, but my guys don't want to be your friends. They don't want to let you pat them. They don't want your hand in the tank. I put my hand in that tank, they're just going to have me. So put them in a net them out first, then grab the breeding cane out. Don't put your hand in the tank unless you're going to take the breeding cane out. This pair, if I put my fingers in the tank, I'll come back down in a couple of hours, all the eggs would have been eaten. That's just the way they are. That's just the way some are. Some are good. These guys are bad. These guys are pretty good. These guys I didn't take the chance on their first spawn because I want their eggs, and these fish cost me a couple of dollars. So I'm not one for taking chances, risks when it comes to spawn, especially in such a small operation. I need numbers count. Beautiful. Look at all them angelfish, heaps, lovely. Best day, if I sell them at 100 at a time, I'll get $2 each. When I get overstock, like, I may sell them for $1 each in batches of 100 as well. Sometimes that's what you got to do, because sometimes the market's crowded. I've got 6 or 7 pet shops around me that I can sell them to. They sometimes sell 10 or something a week. I'll put these on a local site, sell them myself from my house. I may sell a couple of hundred a week. So it's all about using your resources around you. If you're in Australia, use Gumtree. You're not allowed to use Facebook. You're not allowed to sell live animals on Facebook. But you can get connections in Facebook. Make connections, do deals. My pet shops that I went to, first off, I went down and I gave them a bag of these, a bag of them. Said, here you go. They knew what it is, what it was. It wasn't for free. It was just me saying, here's $200 worth of fish. When you want to buy something, give me a yell. And it works sometimes and it doesn't. Some pet shops might want to pay you in cash. A lot of them will just want to do trades or store credit. Always tell them what you want for the fish first. Don't let them give you a price, because they're going to turn around and say, I'll give you 50 cents each for them. These peppermints, I sell them for $10 each to the pet shop in bulk. They sell them for $40 each. So if I sell them just locally by myself from the house, I usually get maybe $20. I'll try and get $20 for them each. This is a lucky batch, this one. The father actually kicked the eggs out of the cave. And I thought, well, I'm not going to waste them. Anyway, close to 100 peppermints. I don't know. I counted up 80 or 90. I haven't pulled any dead ones out. I pulled one dead one out when I transferred them from one of the little tubs that they spent the first couple of weeks into here. So you can see him chasing down brine shrimp. Where'd he go? He's just mowing them down. There he is. You can just catch him in that corner there. He's just like, the brine shrimp. Honestly, brine shrimp, like, I think you're going to take a month off growth cycle on these things just when you'll be able to start selling them, just because of live brine shrimp. It's a hassle. They cost a lot. Yeah, that one over there. Right on the glass at the back, can't see him. He's too busy filling his gut full of brine shrimp. But anyway, thank you for watching my video. As I said, I'm just beginning myself. But I've learned a lot from YouTube. I'm not going to mention any names. There's some great YouTube videos in America. I don't know if you're allowed, I'm not too sure if you're allowed to mention or anything like that, but Dean's Fish Room I learned 90. I went from getting 10 eggs, 10 angelfish per spawn myself. Then I watched Dean's fish room, just watched him, drove my wife insane. And that's one spawn now, so, and that's within 6-week difference. There's another gentleman, I can't think of what his name is, but if you watch some of Dean's fish room, you'll see the same ad. It's a YouTube video called King of Plecos, and that's a gentleman that actually I shouldn't say learnt from, I stole his idea that when you have bristlenose or any catfish, as soon as they pop, you want to put a little bit of wood in with them. As soon as, because I flush all mine straight out, big turkey baster, flush them straight out of their caves and put them straight into a little tub. But you want to throw a piece of wood in there with them as well, because even though they've got an egg sac on them, they will usually start eating within 2 days, and you'll notice it because you can see all that stuff on the bottom. I vacuum this out every morning. That's just all fish poo, and you'll see that straight away in the little plastic tubs once you put wood in. And that's how I got these eggs, all these eggs that were kicked out to survive, because it's just amazing. Anyway, thank you and have a lovely day.